lap time with 2.5 minutes down, well, halfway through this race, as they go into the infield, our 2 leaders versus the
Way back in 1964, Roger Curtis, together with Lee Urata, opened a slot car track in Linwood, California, and Associated was born. However, the slot car hobby was short-lived, and in 1969, Roger Curtis, together with Gene Husting, decided to step into a new and booming hobby: radio-controlled cars. During those early years, Associated Electrics experienced great success in on-road racing, but it soon became obvious a new class of racing was on the horizon. In December of 1984, Associated dove headfirst into the fast-growing segment of off-road racing with the release of the RC10, making 2024 the 40-year anniversary.
Roger and my dad had to come up with a concept, right? There's the Tamiya and the Cox Scorpion, Kyosho had cars out there, and they didn't like really the designs that they had. So they went to see, I think they went to the Score Off-Road show in Anaheim. It was the real cars, the real cars there. And they went and looked at all the real car designs, and they came across a guy that had A-type suspension arms, you know. And so they thought rather than having trailing arms in the front and having the A arms in the front and the back was just a better way to go. It made more sense. It kind of, you can mess with the roll centers and just had more versatility. They thought was a good idea, a good base, and that's what they went with.
This new buggy had features and tuning options far beyond other vehicles, which led to an explosive growth within the company and forever changed two-wheel drive off-road RC racing.
We tried to make the suspension adjustable, and it's probably more adjustable than most people realize. There are things on here that we haven't even explored ourselves. The upper arm in the front end is, of course, adjustable in length, which allows you to change the static camber. You can also adjust the roll center of the car. And that would be achieved by moving this inner pivot on the upper arm. It can be moved into any of these hold positions.
In July of 1985, Team Associated, along with team driver Jay Halsey, took home the checkered flag at the very first IFMAR Off-Road World Championships in Del Mar, California.
You know, I was really excited. I didn't realize the importance of it then as, you know, now. And it wasn't just another race to me, but it wasn't, you know, it was the first world, so I didn't know, you know, what to expect. To me, it was like, okay, it's like it's going to a national or something, because at that time, I'd raced BMX a little bit before then and different things, and they always had, there was a national every weekend, like in different sports, like BMX stuff. So I knew it was a big race, I just didn't know what it would turn into later, you know, how big it was. And but it was a great experience, and you know, we, even back then though, I mean, you worked your butts off on the cars. You didn't buy a car out of the box and just throw it down, you know. So.
This win for Associated Electrics on the RC10 was just the first. In fact, every iteration of the RC10 platform has gone on to win at least one IFMAR world title.
We're always trying to make the best race car for the surfaces that we're competing on at the time. And you know, there's been a few major changes throughout the years. You know, I think the RC10 to the B2 was a big step with so much plastic integrated, and the B3 was a refinement of the B2. But then you saw the B4 really take a geometry step that lasted over a decade. That longevity will never be seen again. At the end of the B4, we started working on a little bit more on weight bias and centralization of of the weight, things like that, and you saw that really come into play for the B5 development, and quickly realized that we needed a more viable mid-motor version of the B5 and different battery configurations and all that type of stuff that led into the development of the B6.
So, what's next for the RC10? And what will the next generation of engineers bring us?
You play to win, but the game got control of you. You play the